Hello everyone. Today our team gonna present about our project named Calendar Buddy. Our mentor is Becky Chang, and this team contains two people, me, Pham, and Yiheng Feng. Both of us are writing senior.
There are many calendar apps out there on the market, but have you ever struggled to find time to hang out with your friends when you have a packed schedule? Looking for schedule and having to compare them side by side for sure is a hassle for most people. So the problem we are trying to solve is to build a simple and easy to use calendar app that not only helps users to manage their schedule, but also allows them to find free time between them and their friends within seconds.
In this project, we use React for front-end, Node.js for back-end, create local host server, and the MongoDB for the database. Front-end send request to the server connect with database to get information and then send it back for the front-end. In the React, we use three most important thing is React Router, React Hook, and Redux. React Router to control between switch component when the user use this application, React Hook and Redux to control the state and the its flow in the program. In the nodes, we use Express, which is a small framework to create server, and we use Mongoose to control the data model in this program. As you can see it here, in the first time you come to our page, you will see our welcome page with the link to the sign-in, which you need to do if you want to use any function. When you sign in, there will be two situations happen that you can fail or succeed. In the case that you fail, that can be because of server error or incorrect password. So you need to repeat this step again. However, if you don't have an account, you can sign up, which also have server error or you may repeat an existing email. So you need to provide a new email and repeat this step. When you sign in or sign up succeed, the web will redirect you to the main page, which contain all functions we have that are check date, find free time, and sign out. In the check date, you will input a specific day that you want to check that any event on that day. A list of events from the server on that day will be sent to you. At here, you can update and delete the event if you want. Moreover, you will also can add event by putting title, start date, start time, and end time. And this will be added to your calendar. In the find free time function, you will put in your friend ID and the date you want to meet with him. The system will send it back a list of time which both of you have free time to schedule a meeting. You can also check the weather today by clicking the button See Weather Forecast. The last function will provide your profile info, which contains your name, your email, and ID. And you can also sign out from here. The first thing we use in React is React Router. As you can see it here, that X router contains two parts. First is the part of the URL, which you use to go to the page you want to see. And the second thing is the component, which is the design of the screen that will appear on the user interface. One of the thing you cannot see it here is actually if you want to use any function later, you only see the home screen first, and you need to sign in or sign up succeed if you want to use other function. The next thing we do at here is the React hook, which is used to control the flow of the state inside a component. The first thing we use is the use state, is to control one constant. Like for example, at here we can see that the email is controlled by the set email. When we want to change the email value, we call the set email to set the value for that constant. The second thing we use is the use effect. The use effect is actually a live circle in the class, but in the function, it is use effect. In this situation, you can see that when the component is rendered, the use effect will be called and check after an amount of time that if the user info is exists, which means that the is that user is signed in or not. If they are already signed in, they will be pushed to the main screen to use other function or not, it will be still stand there. The next thing we use in React is Redux, which is to control the flow of the state between components, not inside a component anymore. First, when user uh, use an action, the action will get that one and change it to the store. The store get that also with the information. It will communicate with the reducer and send it a new state. This state come from store and come back to the view model. The next thing is actually Redux code. As you can see in the left corner, the higher, you can see that when the user dispatch an action with a sign in, they come with the email and the password. Let's come to the action. The action take that email and password. They will start the request. Then they use a framework named ACS to post this one to the server. If the server confirm that this person exists, they will send us back the data. And it's and that means the sign action is succeed. It's now load the type and the payload. Also at here we use cookie to set the user always sign in even when they are reload the page. Next, this information will be sent to the store. The store will come to the sign in and see that is user reducer. It's come to the reducer, we choose of the type that we already have, that is the type and the payload. The type up here is already succeed because the data we send it back. So it will set the state to the user info is the action.payload, which is have in the previous action, and we have the loading as itself because we already complete the loading for get the user info. Then they send back to the store. The store already have a new state and it send it back to the user.
The diagram shown here is how the communications flow of our application looks like. The front-end components communicate with the server, and the server sends requests to the database for routers. We have two routers in our application. The first one is the user router, which is for authentication purposes, such as sign up and login. After successful operation, user will get back a token which they can use to make further requests to the server. Another router is the event router, which allows the user to perform the CRUD operation, create, read, update, and delete, and it will check if the user is authenticated before performing any actions in the database. Here is the code to create the server. So first, we require all the things we need and configure to have the environment variable in our .env file. Then we connect to the MongoDB database, and we also have our middlewares. And last, we start the server to listening at port 5000. Next, we have the user article for the sign-in part. This will serve as an example of one of the many road paths we have. On the left-hand side, we are checking the email and the password from the request body in the database to see if there is any matching credential. If there is one, it will send back a response code 200 along with a JSON Web Token. Else, it will send back an unauthorized response code 401. Last, we have the code for the data models. The left-hand side is the user schema. We are storing name, email, password as strings, and event as an array that contains all the events the user has. As for the event schema on the right-hand side, we have title, start date, and end date. Now we will share with you a quick run-through of our application. To start, we need to first sign in. Since I already have an account, I will just sign in directly. But if you don't have one, you could also create your account by clicking here. After signing in, you will see 3 navigation tabs at the top. The first one allows you to check your schedule. By inputting the date you want to check, you will get a list of events that you have been scheduled on that date. You could also add an event by clicking the Add Event button. Aside from this, you could also update an event or remove an event. To find free time between you and your friend, simply go to the Find Free Time tab. From here, input your friend's ID and also the date you want to check. Then the system will return a list of times that you and your friend are both available. Also, to find out more information about the weather, you could just click the What to Do Today button. From here, you could get today's weather information and also our suggestion. To sign out, simply go back to the home page and then navigate to the Profile tab and then click the Sign Up button.
In the process of working with this project, we learned a lot of things, but there are 3 most important. First, communication is the key. In the first day, we meet a lot of problems with assigned tasks to team members. If we have a good way to communicate with each other, this may not happen, and maybe the project can be even better. The second thing is, team members need to decide what to do before actually code, because it will help us not to repeat the writing and delete, and need to fix the function a lot. The last thing is, we need to ask feedback from our team member every time we can, because the idea from the mentor will help us a lot to improve project and also help us to learn new skill.
Some further work that can be done to this is to importing events from Google Calendar, allowing third-party sign-in, and also sending notes to friends.